Guys, it is the Friday of Mother's Day weekend, and guess what I'm going to be doing all weekend? I am going to be completing a lot of my garden projects that I have yet to complete, including this backyard side planting area. It's kind of like a woodland-ish. I have other things in there too that are full sun actually, but we're going to really work on that, get it fixed up, looking nice, and see where we can go from there. It is actually starting to rain. It was drizzling on my face when I was recording that a second ago. It's a nice little kind of like a coastal type drizzle. It feels like you're near the ocean, but we're a couple hours from the ocean. But there's Tonto. He's going to help me. We may even tackle this raised bed here. I'm not sure yet. I'll think about it. But yeah, let's include this. Try to get this area done because I want to move, well, not move it, continue that cypress mulch over into this area. I did work on this planter last weekend, so it's a little bit going through transplant shock. We need to get this bed planted. Here's my gorgeous Italian sage. Let's just take a look at what we're going to work on before we get started. As it is now, it's going to look so much better when we're done. But I've got my petite knockout rose that is looking gorgeous and beautiful and happy. There are strawberries throughout the bed that are just running wild, and I'm letting them for ground cover. We have some corabelles in a nice, rich, beautiful burgundy color. The muscari, that bloomed, gosh, a couple months ago, but I'll put a picture here just so you can get the effect. Beautiful blue flower. I've got a hardy hibiscus coming up here. Now that is a full sun plant, but it also likes nice, moist soil. And it gets an okay amount of sun. Not ideal, but okay amount. We definitely are getting enough before the trees fill in with leaves for the fruit to develop on the strawberries. You can see there's some fruit over there I need to pick. And then here we've got two fragrant olive bushes. They're a zone 8 bush, but they do okay here because we're like 7B-ish, almost 8. I feel like we're 8 because I have a lot of zone 8 things that I can overwinter in the ground. Not in a container, but in the ground. Let's go back over here before I forget where we were. So this is the flower of the heuchera or corabelle. And then I've got two different colors of coneflower in here. And I have coneflower in the ground as well. That actually can tolerate some low part sun, especially if it's on the edge of where your sun line is. It will do well. I've got my passion fruit vine. I started this from seed last spring, late winter, early spring. Took 3 months to germinate. I would like to unwind it at this point and then re-trellis it because it's kind of got all this growth right here, and just like, I'm afraid someone's just going to come through and accidentally rip it. I would like to retrain it, re-trellis it, and have more of this growth farther down because this is going to get huge. This is already trying to get over to my neighbor's house, so we need to work on that. I need to weed. You can see I've got lots and lots of weeds growing. All of these weeds need to be gone. New mulch put down. Got an empty pot to put something in. Here's a closer look at this pot that I worked on last weekend. It's just got various things. Phlox, corabelles, some violas I repurposed from the front raised bed area. And there is a snapdragon as well that is recovering from some shock because I ripped him out of the ground. Decided to put him there, and then we really need to get this bed done. You can see the Swiss chard is trying to produce seed. I have not decided if I'm going to let it. At this point I should, but look at how tall. That is probably, well, it's taller than me, right, Tonto? I found all these pots under my crawl space, or in my crawl space, which was a blessing. We'll talk about that later. Okay, so back to assessing where we are. So I've got these Canterbury bells. They actually will do better in full sun, but they tolerate being here in this very low part sun. And that is because in the winter and the early spring, before the leaves fill in, this is actually a very full sun location. So it is getting full sun at certain times of the year, and these bloom really early in the season. Now, if these were to bloom in, say, July, August, September, they probably wouldn't get enough sun, but because they are an early bloomer, they're doing okay. They just are a little floppy, a little lanky, and so I have to use supports to keep them upright. But when they start blooming, They are just stunning. It reminds me of like a fairy tale book, like you're inside of a novel of a fairy tale. But one thing about these guys, it takes, you know, they're biannual, so it's not going to be the first year you plant them that they're going to bloom. It's going to be that next year. So it's good to have, you know, a rotation going, you know, first year plants and second year plants. And it looks like one of these guys got damaged, so we'll clean that up when we're working on this bed. I have to keep stopping the video because it's very windy and we still have a lot of oak pollen in the air. So I have to keep stopping to have a coughing fit. It's at the point I may have to go inside and get something to drink. I'm going to try to get through at least this little intro here. Okay, I'll try to calm myself and breathe through my nose, and I'm taking all this oak pollen. So I've got a lot of alpine strawberries here too. In addition, these are, I think those are sequoia over there. Let's see, this one looks ripe. Almost. One side is ripe. I'll just go ahead and pick it. This is how big they get. Alpine strawberries. You can get them in different colors. I just have the red. I used to have the pineapple, but eventually they all just converted over to being red. So they're very delicate, sweet, but I like that they're a nice, beautiful ground cover. They have the petite little white flowers that turn into the fruit. Then I've got 2 blueberries here that are for the birds. And this snapdragon, it was pretty, you know, a couple weeks ago. I'll put a picture. And now it's at the point we need to do a prune. You can see the birds have been landing over here and breaking the stems. So we will clean him up in our makeover that we're doing right here. And then this does not belong. This ended up, I moved some pots from out front, like, I don't know, a year and a half ago. And that must have been in some of the dirt, the seed. This is Sweet William. It's in the carnation family. And it's toxic. It is toxic to dogs. So it doesn't belong in my backyard because, you know, I've got Mr. Tonto over there, and he does like to chew things and tear things up. Now this is crane's bill or perennial geranium. Regular geraniums are also toxic to dogs, but from my research, I have deduced that the perennial geranium or cranesbill is okay for Tonto. And there's conflicting information on columbine, which this is columbine, and it did flower many, many weeks ago. It was a red one. Conflicting info if that is safe or not for dogs. For now, it is in my backyard. And then I have just a collection of different heuchera or corabells, ferns that I grew from bare root last year. Back in this area, directly under the tree. That is a silver something Japanese fern there in the pot. And then some more, well, these are astilbes. And there are some astilbe over here as well. It really needs to keep a lot of moisture. So when we weed this area, we're going to put down some more mulch. Let's see what else we got. And these corabells are just seedlings that I found and collected last year. So we're going to just put them somewhere, I don't know, on the property. And then 2 more corabells. These are a dark colored leaf. And then I just relocated this miniature rose. So we're going to do a hard prune on that. It's a fairy rose, angel wings, that's what it's called. And I grew that from seed. We have some forget-me-nots here in this corner. And I do have some seedlings that we can put also in this bed when we're done weeding. I just had another coughing fit. This is my lilac, and it just completed blooming. And you can see my lilac, and I don't know if it's because it's not getting enough sun, is white, cream-colored flower. Maybe that's just the variety I bought. I don't know. It was a bare root I got about 3 or 4 years ago at Aldi's. It was a tiny little thing. And now it's a super big, huge thing. So it is not happy in that little container. I've up-potted it already 2 or 3 different times. And it's time to do it again. So I went to Sam's while these were on sale for $14.99. And I got this giant pot. And that should last it a while. Fingers crossed. But I definitely need to cut off those flowers. Do a little shaping if I want to prune it. This is the time, right after it flowers. And you don't want to bury it deep. You can see I've got a nice, beautiful root flare there. And that's what you want for your lilac because it's shallow rooted like a fig. Tonto, what are you doing? Okay. And then we end up here at this bed that I worked on probably a month ago. And I'll put that video in the description box if you're curious. But my blackberries are about ready to start fruiting and turning colors. And when they do, we have to get this protected. We'll put our netting, our bird netting, between the two trellises, because usually if I don't protect these fruits, the birds will eat them all. You can see I did work on this area as well, and now we have some new growth, new plants, but only one of the coneflower roots, it was a bare root, took off, so I may have to plant some seeds there or get some more bare roots. So that's what we're going to work on today, this little section. And I think I'm going to relocate. I need to do something with this camellia. I haven't decided, do I want to keep it in this corner or do I want to keep it with my other camellias? That's what I'm thinking I'll do. All right, well, let's get busy. The rain is starting to pick up just a wee bit more. And I got to decide what is the first step. Probably pruning is what it's going to be. How many days have passed? 8, 10, I don't know. I'm sorry, I didn't get back to making that video. I have not been back outside. I've been sidetracked with my HOAs coming back on the 30th or 1st, June 1st, I think is our deadline. But I have a lot of stuff out front that I need to get done, and a lot of stuff indoors I have to get done just for other reasons. And then there's the whole getting my summer vegetables in the garden. I think I've got about 95% planted. I just got my watermelons planted a couple days ago. So my plan about Mother's Day weekend, it didn't work out. I have 4 children, so it was a busy weekend. And I did get to plant my tomatoes almost, yeah, I think all my tomatoes on Mother's Day, actual Mother's Day. It was raining. But yeah, so it was a great weekend. It's okay. I'm giving myself just a little bit of a break and some grace to say, okay, it's okay to prioritize, and it's okay for that bed that we were looking at earlier to be a mess. Even though that passion fruit vine now is, it's grabbing onto my neighbor's fence. We really need to get out there. But there's so many other things we need to do, like Spike. He needs to be up potted. And I bought him a pot. I got a great deal on a pot. So that will be a future video. And we will do part 2 soon for that side yard. And not much has changed. The only thing I really need to do is that passion fruit vine and those Canterbury bells really need to get supported. I may just go ahead and do that because I feel sorry they're laying on the ground. We've had so much rain, lots of rain. We've had cool days, cool mornings. I did get my sweet potatoes planted yesterday, and it's just been busy, so it's okay. I hope you'll come back though, because I think it'll look nice. And because my brain operates like kind of like a scattered brain type person, not in a bad way, I think in a good way actually. I've got I'm expanding the Camellia Woodland garden area as well. That's what I'm doing right now. I just came in to eat a sandwich for lunch, but I wanted to go ahead and just post this video before it gets any later. And so I'm expanding that bed because I've still got a steel bee that needs to be planted that I bought as bare root. And well, you understand, right? So come back, I hope, for part 2. But there are a few other videos in the works as well. So I'll talk to you guys soon. I hope you're having a great gardening week. Bye.